So Dad, you said that Corbyn's not a Brexiteer, but I hear it all the time. You've got to admit, in the first debate with Johnson, he would never answer the question of whether he supports Brexit or Remain, and now he says he'll be neutral. It seems like he's hiding something.
Well, many of my friends who are Labour supporters are really upset with Corbyn about Brexit. And some of them are thinking of voting Lib Dems because of this. And I can understand some of the criticism, but the media have misrepresented Corbyn's role. And I think if people were not misled, they'd be much more sympathetic to Corbyn and more critical of Lib Dems and Jo Swinson in particular. Let's start before the referendum. Do you know who voted to have a referendum in the first place? Was it Corbyn, do you think? No, it was the Conservatives and the Lib Dems. Labour did not support having a second referendum. And it's not that the Lib Dems only supported a second referendum because they were in the coalition. This is what Jo Swinson said in 2009, the year before the coalition. So Samira, just read a bit of this last paragraph here.
Time for the people of Britain to have their say in Europe. People discuss it, but the last time we had a referendum on Europe was decades ago. A better question to ask, given what people are actually discussing when they talk about Britain's future in Europe, is whether we should be in Europe.
So that's Jo Swinson.
But still, everyone knows that Corbyn has been really critical of the EU for decades, and he didn't campaign hard for Remain during the campaign. Here's what Jo Swinson recently said about Corbyn. She even said that Corbyn took a 2-week vacation during the referendum. Doesn't sound like he tried very hard.
Well, that 2-week vacation jibe was a lie and just brushed aside. More importantly, Corbyn campaigned more actively for Remain than almost anyone else, certainly more than Jo Swinson. And here's a quote from Angela Eagle, who ran against Corbyn for the leadership of the Labour Party. Like Angela Eagle says, the media were not covering Corbyn nearly enough during the campaign. But here's a study of the number of appearances he made. Corbyn was a top person in Labour. Tim Farron, the leader of the Liberal Democrats at the time, didn't even come in the top 30.
Okay, so Corbyn campaigned, but the main criticism is that he was only lukewarm at best in his speeches. If only he tried.
Yeah, but he did. He did not hide the problems with the EU, but he campaigned on the platform of Remain and Reform, and he made a strong case for Remain. Here's a short video of one of his speeches.
We, the Labour Party, are overwhelmingly for staying in, because we believe the European Union has brought investment, jobs and protection for workers, consumers and the environment. But also because we recognise that our membership offers a crucial role to meeting the challenges that we all face in the 21st century. Climate change, restraining the power of global cooperation and ensuring they pay fair taxes both in Europe and chase down the tax havens all around the world. So when you vote on the 23rd of June, I hope you vote to Remain and then campaign with us on the 24th of June onwards for the reforms, solidarity and changes that we need.
I can understand the criticisms that Corbyn didn't support a second referendum earlier, but he was trying to find a compromise. Not only did 52% of the voters vote to leave, but a majority of the Labour constituencies also voted to leave. Corbyn tried to find a compromise. He supported a Norway version of Brexit that was almost passed. This would have kept us in the customs union and allowed us freedom of movement, but the Lib Dems didn't support it. Now, I think that would have been a reasonable compromise given that there was little support for a no-deal Brexit prior to the referendum. And indeed, Farage was supporting a Norway-type deal during the referendum. Check this out.
I have to say that everybody from David Cameron to half this panel say, wouldn't it be terrible if we were like Norway and Switzerland, really? They're rich, they're happy, they're self-governing. Actually, Norway can afford to give people money. It's rich. It's successful. Norway. They're rich. They top the world's happiness index. They're allowed to catch their own fish.
So, to summarise, 1. Corbyn did not vote for a referendum in the first place. Lib Dems did. 2. Corbyn campaigned hard to Remain, much more active than Joe Swinson or anyone in Lib Dems, and tried hard to find a compromise, soft Brexit deal, including Norway deal. And 3, after failing to get a compromise deal, Corbyn ended up supporting a second referendum with Remain on the ballot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. And sure, there's room to criticize Labour on Brexit, both from the Remain side and from the Leave side's perspectives. But I just don't understand how Remainers can be so angry at Corbyn.
I think he should take a stronger stand.
I understand that reasonable people can disagree, but I don't understand leaving Labour for the Lib Dems on the basis of Brexit.